Hey guys, welcome back on the channel. Fabrizio Romano here, as always, to keep you posted on the transfer market. Many things to mention as usual, guys. We will go from Isaac to Manchester United, Gigio Donnarumma and much more. And so let's jump into a new video together. Many news, guys, as usual, here on the channel. James McAtee to Nottingham Forest is a here we go. A story I told you at the beginning of the week. The deal was on the right way and now it's done. Forest really active on the market because McAtee arrives for £22 million plus loans up to £30 million plus sell on and buy back clause. So James McAtee will go and play for Nottingham Forest from Manchester City. And then also important to mention that Manchester City will have a buyback clause to keep future control on the player. So that's not a detail in this story. To add more, guys, the market is very active on for several clubs. So we say the Forest, Kalimando is coming, the deal for Omari Hutchinson is on, and then signing James McAtee. But when we mention Manchester City, for the outgoing of James McAtee, we have to mention again Gigio Donnarumma. Yes, because guys, I can tell you that after the quotes of the agent, after the relationship broken with Paris Saint-Germain, after everything happened in this crazy week, well, I can tell you that Gigio Donnarumma maintains his position. He will try to leave now, immediately, Paris Saint-Germain, rather than waiting for summer 2026 and make a move on a free. And Donnarumma is very open to making his move to Manchester City. So the first contacts between Donnarumma's camp and Man City were very positive. Very good feedbacks, very good feeling. Now, as I always told you, the deal depends on Ederson, if Ederson goes to Galatasaray or not. So this deal depends on the Ederson story. There is a negotiation ongoing for Ederson, between Ederson and Galatasaray on the personal terms. Man City are waiting to see how much Galatasaray will put as final offer on the table, but for sure, Donnarumma depends on the Ederson story. So that's the first point. And then the second point of the story is obviously the price, with Man City still working on that after the contact made on Monday with Paris Saint-Germain. But the update of the day is that Donnarumma is opening doors to Manchester City, is keen on move to Manchester City, has very good feedback from Pep Guardiola. Pep really appreciates Donnarumma, and so let's see what happens there. With Chelsea, nothing at all. Forget about Chelsea for Donnarumma. What about Manchester United? At the moment, guys, still no active talks between Man United and Donnarumma, as of today. So Man United are focused on different things. Then, if they will activate the Donnarumma option, I will let you know. But at the moment, Chelsea say no chance. Man United are focused on different things. City working on that, but only if Ederson leaves. On Donnarumma, guys, I wanted to add one more thing. When we mention Manchester United, now the focus is on different things. Which things? Midfield. Carlos Baleba. Contacts are continuing on daily basis with his agents and also with Brighton. For Manchester United, in order to present an official bid and to understand if that could be worth negotiating with, of course, Brighton for Carlos Baleba, it's important to understand more on the outgoings. Because selling players for Manchester United or finding solutions for the players who are not part of the squad is really important. Today, Toby Collier goes to West Bromwich, but it's just a loan. When I talk about players, it's about the big names. For Alejandro Garnacho, guys, talks in the background between Chelsea and Manchester United are well underway. Chelsea are working on this Garnacho deal. Chelsea have an agreement with Garnacho, so I know that maybe in the media is not that present. But trust me, behind the scenes, the Garnacho deal is very, very advanced, very, very active. And so Man United are prepared to sell Garnacho on a permanent transfer. Then Anthony, there is Betis interested. Betis is still working on the Anthony deal. Let's see if financially they can do it or other clubs will jump into it. But Anthony is another asset for Manchester United. Jadon Sancho official bid arrived today from Roma. Roma have offered a loan with an obligation to buy, quite easy to activate. This loan with obligation is worth a transfer fee of £20 million, so around 23 million euros as a total package between loan fee and the full package, including the option to buy the player, is going to be an obligation under easy conditions. And so Sancho is open to making his move to Italy, but still waiting to understand if he's going to agree personal terms with Roma or not. But for sure, Sancho is in conversations with Roma, is quite open to that. Sancho is still not opening the doors to Turkish clubs. Besiktas were interested, but never opened the doors on Sancho's side. Why? Because Sancho now is giving priority to Europe. Then, if on the 1st of September, the last day of the transfer window, this Sancho story will be still open, in that case, from the 2nd of September, with the European market closed, remember that the Turkish market is still open for some time. Meanwhile, with all these stories, Sancho, Anthony, Garnacho, for Man United could be important to raise some money and see what happens with the Carlos Baleba story. Because remember that Baleba is keen on a move to Manchester United, open to joining Manchester United, no problems on personal terms, but the deal depends on Brighton, and Brighton will not make it easy. But Man United are still there for Baleba, and contacts are continuing. The guys still there is the right definition also for the Alexander Isak deal, because Liverpool are still there, Liverpool are still prepared to bid if and when Newcastle will open doors to this move. Alexander Isak is doing his part in this story because Alexander Isak is not changing his stance. The player will not be available for the opening game against Aston Villa. Meanwhile, Newcastle today, after signing Malik Chow, 40 million euros from Milan, package, add-ons included. Today, Newcastle also closed the deal for Jacob Ramsey from Aston Villa for 40 million pounds package. So, Ramsey is coming, Chow is done. Newcastle are working on the market, also looking at a striker, but obviously, if they find a striker and they decide to let Alexander Isak go, trust me, Liverpool will be very ready to send an official bid and to go in a very strong way for Alexander Isak in the final days of the window. Meanwhile, Isak will not be available for the game against Aston Villa. Isak doesn't want to play for Newcastle anymore. The message is quite clear for the Aston Villa game. Then, obviously, Newcastle will face Liverpool, and the idea for Alexander Isak is quite clear. He doesn't want to be on the pitch. Isak wants to go to Liverpool. So the position of the player remains very clear. The position of the player is really important in this saga. Liverpool are ready, waiting for Newcastle. And Newcastle now are in a position where they have to make a decision for Alexander Isak with a bit more than 2 weeks to go, but the Premier League is about to start, and obviously this kind of case is going to have an important impact on their plans for present and for future. So this is going to be an interesting topic for sure. And then guys, also on Liverpool, just to complete, remember that Liverpool signed Giovanni Leoni. The player had the first part of his medical. Tomorrow he will complete everything, and then it's going to be time to sign his contract as new Liverpool player. Everything very good for Giovanni Leoni, who had his first face-to-face contact with Arne Slot, who's been a big part of this process. Richard Hughes and Arne Slot, both of them wanted Leoni. Now the player can be considered a new Liverpool player for 35 million euros plus sell-on clause for Parma. And don't forget, I tell you again, that Liverpool also want to sign Marghehi, so that remains another focus for this crazy transfer window Liverpool are having. The deal is absolutely done for Leoni. The deal is absolutely on for Marghehi. So let's follow the situation, and for sure we will update you here. And so guys, let me know your thoughts on all these stories, from Donnarumma to Alexander Isak, Baleba, Sancho, Anthony, Alejandro Garnacho, and all the rest. Remember guys to like this video, turn on the notification bell, we're entering into crucial weeks. Comment here, remember, and see you soon here on the channel. Ciao, thank you.
Reminiscing the good old days, remembering to forget all the bad ones. I remember when college seemed so important, but is it worth it? Been wondering what truly matters to me. I know for sure it's not a fancy degree. I'd like to